Hey guys, it's me, Jess, or So It Is True. I'm trying to make it so that way you guys aren't stuck looking at my screen. Okay, well, that'll work. Anyway, this is Jess, or So It Is True. I'm making a video today. I couldn't really decide what I wanted to make a video about, and I posted a comment on Facebook. A lot of you guys know I have Facebook, and when I did that, I asked people to send over questions that they'd like to have answered, and I have quite a few of them. So I'm going to try to get through as many as I can, and I may have to do multiple videos. So let's start off with one kind of a home hitter question. It is about, I'm going to try to, let's see, I want to go in the evens. Let's see. Let's go with, the first question is about trying to conceive, actually. Trying to conceive after surgery, if you've had problems before surgery, considering if you were before surgery, if you had like PCOS or something of that nature, which I had, which made it very impossible to conceive. After having surgery, does it make it easier, is the question basically. Well, my answer is, I can tell you that it doesn't necessarily make it easier. A lot of people say that it does. And those must be the people that didn't have a hard time after surgery. Because I know there are quite a few people that it does help. But it does not necessarily make it so that way you can definitely have children. It really depends on your situation. PCOS does not just go away with weight loss. Weight loss does help the condition, but once you have PCOS, it's not like it's not a curable disease. Being a person that has PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome or disease, it goes both ways. You can look it up online and do some research just to see what that is. It's really complicated to go into all the details of it. But if you have it before surgery, having surgery does not mean that you will be relieved of it. So let's see. So basically that's, weight loss does not mean that you're automatically going to have children. It means that there's a good possibility that you can. I'm one of those people that are still struggling with it, and I do not have a 100% go ahead because of all of my medical conditions. Pretty much prevents me entirely. But in the future, you never really know. I know a lot of you guys heard that I was indeed, and I was, but it didn't keep. So you never know. God has what He wants to have planned for you. He has planned for you, whenever He's ready, So, all right. Let's see. Let's see. All right. The person that asked that question was requesting if they should send it to a different place, and I wanted people to know that they can send me the message via my inbox. That's one thing that I wanted basically to make this video, because I wanted to let the people know that don't have Facebook with me. I answer questions all the time. A lot of times they're duplicates, and that's what provoked me to write a book. So that's the reason why I wanted to make this video. I want people to know that I am reachable on Facebook. I have a lot of friends on there, and I'm very open and honest about everything. When you're on my Facebook, you're going to learn a lot of stuff about me. So let's go on to the next question. I'm not going to say names just in case people don't want others to know. But anyway, this person says, exactly how drastic was the change after having surgery, and when was the moment that it seemed real to you? Well, that is a very good question. The answer that I have is really a little bit complex, but I'll try to make it as simple as I can so I don't use all of my time here. I'm going to have to make 2 videos. I do know that. Let's see, because their questions are still coming in. Let's see. Well, to be honest with you, before gastric bypass, I was really big, but I was healthy. My everything, my blood pressure was fine. The only thing that I struggled with was polycystic ovary disease. My sleeping was fine. I could breathe fine while I was sleeping, everything. I would get tired walking, of course, because I was so big, but besides being big, I really didn't have any complications. Now, post-surgery, I have multiple complications. Vitamin deficiencies, everybody has those. My deficiencies are a little bit worse than a lot of people's ends up being because I have to get iron infusions. I'm actually starting to get tired right now. I'm doing this video, so I might have to sit down in the second part. Anyway, I just had to have iron infusions yesterday, and iron infusions, a lot of people wouldn't think that it's no big deal. Well, the complication to iron infusion is possible death. And a huge portion of those people that do have to have iron infusions, the more that you get, the more chances you have of having a reaction. The last time I've done it now multiple times. I'm supposed to get it really done every 2 months, but I have failed to do so with a lot of things going on. The first 2 times I had no problems. This last time that I did it, I actually had a reaction in the beginning that freaked me out, scared everybody. They had me relax. They gave me some Benadryl, had me calm down, and it went fine. Well, I'm having a lot of problems with my hands cramping and stuff like that, and the muscles and the bones hurting. But these are simple complications. I mean, the real complication to this is some sort of anaphylactic shock or something. I mean, literally, when you're having an iron infusion, the nurses have a crash cart that's right around the corner from the seat that you're sitting in. That's how serious it is. So a lot of people say, you know, why don't I just have an iron infusion? Well, your doctor's going to make sure that you absolutely need it. When it becomes to the point where, like, my ferritin level was less than a 1. My hemoglobin was an 11, which, you know, they'd like to see it a little bit less than that, but my ferritin being less than a 1 made it critical. And my hemoglobin's actually dropped considerably lower from 11, but it's getting better. Anyway, so it made it so that I'd have to do that. I mean, that's life-threatening. You know, if I would have known that after gastric bypass I would have more complications, you know, would I have done it? I don't know. I can't answer that because that's not the choice I chose, but I can tell you that the drastic changes are, medically, there's so many. But mentally and physically, people don't judge me the way that they used to. People look at me differently now. Like, if I have a male friend, they, you know, look at me like just another female. Whereas a lot of my male friends, when I was bigger, would always say things like, you know, you're such a great person. I would totally be interested in you if, and it was always my weight. Well, now people judge me because of who I am. They don't judge me because of my weight. It's not a problem anymore. It's not a question. I don't get denied for jobs because of the fact that I was big, and that had happened. I had gotten fired from a job where they denied that that's what it was, but we all know that that's what it was. So, I mean, there's so many changes that I just I can't go over them all. There are so many positives that, you know, like people not judging, you know, going down the road, if there's a car full of teenagers that stop next to me at a light, I don't duck down in the car or quickly make a turn, nearly killing myself to get out of the place of having to stop next to them. You know, now I stop next to them and they may smile or look the other way and keep their conversation going. It has nothing to do with me. Whereas before it was definitely about me and I heard about it, you know, so it was really bad, you know, really mentally harsh. So when was the moment that it seemed real for me? It took me about 2 years. Even now I look in the mirror and I'm like, ooh. You know, like this morning I looked in the mirror and I saw it, like I got my new glasses that got green all on the inside. They're actually really cool. But I love them and I think they're awesome, and they're really dorkish and big and square and whatever. But I looked in the mirror and I was like, hey, you look like a 1980s hip hop dancer, you know, like I don't know. But I just looked at myself and I don't know. My hair was a mess. I just looked at myself and I was like, you don't look that bad, you know. And before surgery, I never would have said that. So that's huge for me. That's huge to be able to look in the mirror and smile, or look in the mirror and be like, I think I just need to throw my hair up and go get a coffee. You know, it wasn't like that before. I would feel disgusted. I would look at myself and cry. That doesn't happen anymore. So there are things that make it 100% worth it. And that's when it seemed real for me. It did take a long time. A lot of people don't ever figure it out, you know. Luckily, I did come to the conclusion on that because I really needed to at that point. How long after surgery did it take you to be able to tolerate foods, meats like chicken, turkey, steak? I'm almost 5 months post-op. and still can't tolerate most meats. Any gastric bypass recipes? Okay. On my Facebook, I do post mini recipes. Today I posted a recipe about salsa. I love Mexican food, so I posted a recipe for salsa. I also posted a recipe for mini Mexican muffins. And they're really cool. They're actually like 20 grams of protein in a small muffin. And I don't know, it was like 60 calories or something like that. I mean, it was really cool. So that's a good recipe to take a look at. And of course, salsa is always yummy. How long before tolerating meats? Well, chicken and I still fight. Me and chicken don't get along a whole lot. There's a lot of foods that I don't get along with. I get along with meats better than I do anything else. I can take and tear down a steak, no problem. You know, you give me some shredded lettuce and I struggle. So it really, I mean, ground meats, anything but ground beef, I struggled with for about 6 months or so. And steak, I was good on steak. I probably had my first steak at about a year post-op. I didn't, you know, a lot of you guys know when you watch my videos that I wasn't able to actually start moving off of a pureed liquid diet until I was almost 3.5 months. I was 3.5 months post-op. That's when I had my stricture that they finally figured that out, and then I actually could start eating again. So I really didn't get into crazy foods until I was about a year post-op, really, to be honest with you. I mean, I think I had my first taco about a year post-op. So I spent a lot of time dealing with that. But let's see. I mean, you know, I still don't really eat a whole lot of meats, and that's just my personality. I mean, I'll eat a steak now and again, but, you know, that's now and again. It's kind of like all the meats. Like, I make dinner for Bo and I, whereas, like, the salsa dinner that I made tonight, well, I actually rolled up a couple pieces of deli meats with some cheese, and I had some of the salsa with it. And then Bo had the muffins and stuff. So I don't really eat when everybody else eats. I don't really eat because I struggle with it still, you know. If you can't tolerate meats now at 5 months post-op, and guessing that you started eating about the time that you were supposed to, I would say that you're probably going to struggle with them. Yeah, you're probably going to struggle with them. This video is about to end, but I'll tell you that one thing that I've actually learned is 2 weeks post-op. After your 2 weeks post-op, you will be about as healed as your body's going to heal. Your body's not going to heal any more than it is after 2 weeks of healing, especially because it's on the inside. The second thing would be that even though your body is healed, your stomach has got to understand and deal with the fact that it's no longer digesting food really in its stomach. You're actually digesting food in your intestines, and that's what your body has to figure out. Being that you're 5 months post-op, I don't know when you started eating meats. If you went by the diet that's regulated, you probably started eating meats, I'm going to say about 2 months post-op. So you're about 3 months into eating meats and you're still struggling. I'm going to say that you're probably going to spend the rest of your life struggling. That's what I think. You could very well stretch your pouch out. I don't know how stretched your pouch out is. I don't know how stretched out it is. It really depends on that as well. The more stretched out it is, the longer the food sits in your pouch, the more it digests in your pouch before it hits your intestine. So there's a lot of different things. I can't really answer that very well. I apologize. But I'm going to go on to the next question in my next video. So look for part 2 of Facebook Q&As. Okay? All right. So see you on part 2.